Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of A Moment of Science with Miss Eller. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about erosion, weathering, and deposition. So we got to get ready. What do you need when you get ready? I need my messy boots, of course. So I'm going to get my boots on and let's get going. So to do this experiment, we need some dirt. So I'm going to find some dirt. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the dirt into my little stream table here, and I'll tell you what that means in a minute. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get all of this dirt, and I'm going to move it up here. And if I have big clumps like this, oh, that's a rock. Okay, I'll leave that up there. I'm just going to kind of spread this out up here. Okay. Now what we've been learning about is erosion, weathering, and deposition. So erosion, weathering, and deposition. Remember, weathering is where wind, water, and ice will like constantly hit against a rock and break it apart, break it into pieces. I'm weathering this rock. The forces of nature. Force of nature. Weathering is breaking apart, breaking apart. Erosion is when it's moving it away. Erosion moves the sediment away. And deposition is the last one. Deposition is when that sediment is being dropped off somewhere else, kind of like you make a deposit at the bank. Deposition has that word deposit in it, and it just means dropping it off. And I'm going to show you how it works on a small scale. Okay? So let's just say that this is my land on the surface of the earth. It's made up of rocks and soil. Okay, and you see I have a little cliff here, right down here. And let's say the land kind of contours this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a source of water up here, because typically your water will come all the way from the mountains all the way down to the sea. And let's just see the power of the water as it goes down. So I'm going to start my water, and I want you to kind of see as the water's going down. What do you notice it's picking up? Do you see that it's picking up some pieces of rock and taking it with it? That's sediment. The sediment is taking it with it. That's called erosion. It is eroding this land away, okay? So you can see as it's coming down here, it is moving different pieces of sediment. Now if you come in close right up here, you'll also notice it's getting deeper right in there. That's that water breaking apart that rock right as it's hitting constantly on this rock right here, and it's making a hole there, and that's called weathering. If it's breaking it apart, it's weathering. If it's moving the sediment, it's erosion. Now, you might think, well, what about deposition? Well, what about deposition? Check this out. As it's moving the sediment down the river, I want you to notice something. What is happening? I'm gonna stop my water flow. Look what I've got down here. Do you see all this sediment? Guess where this sediment came from? Yeah, that's right. It came from all the way up on the top of the mountain. So that was a big rainstorm right there. Sorry about that. So as the water increases, the more power it has and the more sediment it will carry away. And so eventually, like when you have something as powerful as like the Mississippi River, eventually it's going to be creating more and more land down here because it's carrying the sediment and dropping it off at the mouth of the river. Notice what you see happening right here is a lot of these pieces are breaking off and falling into it and going down. That's weathering and erosion, breaking apart and moving it away. All of this sediment that's left right here, that's called deposition because it's being dropped right there. So you see right here, it's kind of started forming a canyon where the sides of these walls have been weathered and they're eroded away. So remember, Weathering is the breaking apart. Erosion is when it's being moved, and deposition is when it's being dropped off. Thanks for tuning in today to A Moment of Science with Miss Eller. See you next time.